Well, hi friends and PC group today. Congratulations. This is our first day that we are doing accountability. I am not going to be joining you guys today. I have um, a certified MAPS coach that is going to be stepping in for me, and he will be here in just a few minutes. One thing that I want you guys to do is you guys have an assignment. You are going to go through and do a brain teaser before he gets here, and we have a from A to Z, all the different kinds of people you can add to your database. So like A, under accountant, we want to go through, have you added your accountant into your database? Are there any other accountants that you could add to your database? If you don't have an accountant, can you call your SOI and say, hey, I need an accountant that I can refer to my clients. Do you have anybody that is fantastic and great? So this is going to do two things. You're going to get to add more people to your database, and you're going to have a purposeful reason to call your sphere. When you call that accountant, you're going to say, hi, my name is Angie Fisher. My friend Bob told me that you are a great accountant. I'd love to be able to count on you to give great service to my clients. Are you taking new customers? And they will say yes or no. Great. What's the best way for me to refer business to you? And they let you know and say, awesome. Just in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I want to warn you, you might get some marketing materials from me. You'll go into my database, but I will make sure that I have you as my go-to person, as my accountant. Okay, so that's number one. And there's some funny ones on here, but from A to Z, this is going to help you guys jog your memory of who. So your whole goal is to get a name on each one of those. Okay, the next thing I want to share with you guys is under the D is actually for dentists and doctors. So I want to share a success with you that sometimes we have a limiting belief that maybe a dentist or a doctor might not want to do business with us. First, we have to get into a relationship with them, and then we have to make sure that we study and we're a true professional. We have to show up in such a way that even though we don't know everything, they know they can trust that we are going to go find the right information for them. They can trust us, and that we are going to negotiate well for them. It's been 2 years now. My dentist actually came to one of our classes that we did. We'd been inviting him for years before he did finally come. When he came, he went, oh my gosh, this is such a good class. It was just a first-time homebuyer class that he came to. And then he said, all of my kids need to come. So since that time, he has purchased 2 investment properties, and we have helped 5 of his kids buy homes. So don't discredit this activity. This is huge. Next, you need to make sure once they go into the database that you provide them items of value and service. Learn about the market and be able to communicate with them about that. So good luck today. As you guys go through your commitments, these are goals you set. Nobody set them for you. So how you show up is going to matter, okay? And it's just coaching. Remember the difference between coaching and training. Today is coaching. What was your goal? How did you do? How did you feel about that? What are the roadblocks you experienced this week, and what do you want to do next week? So good luck today, you guys. I am in leadership training up in Salt Lake, and I am going to come back ready to go. So I am so excited and so grateful to be a part of this journey with you guys. As another quick reminder, everybody at 1 o'clock, we are doing group prospecting. That is not a class, that is activity, okay? So while you are coming together, you're gonna hear other people talking about things. So you're gonna learn scripts by showing up there. You're gonna hear how we talk on the phone. I'm in Salt Lake today and tomorrow, but I will be back at it next week. And we've had some really great successes that have come from that. I heard an agent talking about it yesterday. One success that he had is when he told him he was in real estate. He then said, hey, do you know anyone right now who is looking to buy, sell, or invest? And when they said no, his next go-to was, awesome, no problem. Would you mind just doing a Google review for me and instead? And they said yes. So he's building up his Google reviews, and I thought that was such a great opportunity. Things on there just like he's professional, honest, has integrity. Those are all great things. So I will let you guys know I should be available for office hours tomorrow, but it may get pushed back because I am at this training, so it might be a little bit later tomorrow. I'll keep you posted though. Good luck today, you guys. Go make it happen.
Before we get going, I wanted to talk scoreboards with you and why this is even important. Do you guys know why you should track your numbers?
See your progress.
Yes,
Or lack of.
yes. So imagine going to a sporting event like the Jazz. You go to a Jazz game and they don't have any numbers up there, and you just see the teams running around. Like how fun would that be? It's not fun at all. But think of like the counter, and every single stat that could possibly be up would be on the board. So you know how many minutes people played, how many steps they took, how many shots they took from which areas and which ones they made and not. Who talked the most on the bench, who was the meanest on the court. If you had all of those, some of those sound fun. I would like that. But if you had everything, you probably wouldn't want to enjoy the game. You wouldn't enjoy the game the same as just what's the score. Well, so in real estate, our scoreboard is usually closings or GCI, something like that. The problem is if you put something under contract today, you don't get that closed until 30-ish days from now. And then you get paid. And so if you made a phone call today, the average time is 90 days. So the work that you do today usually turns into business 90 days, like paychecks 90 days from now. So we like to track a few different things, and connections is the most important at this point, because the more connections you make now, the more money you'll have in 90 days. Do you guys know what 90 days from today is? It's when your credit card is due from Christmas. So if you're working now, you can put Christmas all on a credit card and pay it off before the payments due. So that's why we track connections, because if you're doing that, then everything else should lead to everything. So let's talk about this. Let's see, Ella.
She's not here.
Not here.
No, she's
Not
not
here.
feeling well.
Okay, Natalie, you're first then. On my list, you said you were going to make 25 connections. How
I
did you
did.
do?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, how do you feel about that?
I feel really good.
How are you going to do next week?
I'm gonna do poorly. I'm gonna be in the Caribbean.
Oh, okay. Well, you can do excellent if your goal is 0.
Yeah, so that is actually my goal, 0.
Yeah, yeah, that's an okay goal. If you're going to be gone.
Yes, I'm gonna be out of town.
Okay. Okay. Did you get anything from those 25?
Yes, they heard. I got 2 people talking to lenders. One I'm trying to hear back from, and if the post office will take my poorly stamped letters that I put stamp on the wrong side, then that should also help. I'm so tired, don't stamp things if you're really tired. Yeah, then hopefully those will also pan out. I did handwritten letters, 12 letters to people,
I love it.
that too, so it should, and then I've got more I've got to do today before I leave town. I'm trying to be, what is that? Like I said, I'm really tired, so I'm trying to be not counterproductive, I'm trying to be
Proactive.
proactive, there we go. Yes, for next week, so I'm trying to do stuff for next week today before I leave town
Perfect.
tomorrow.
Yeah, you get more done the day before vacation than the week, a normal week.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm trying to count stuff out
get it
quickly.
done. I love it. Let's see, Leo. I almost said Leo, and I was like, what if he goes by Leonardo? All right, Leo, how'd you do? 25 was your goal.
I did 19 out of 25, but I got 4 appointments out of it.
Ooh,
And I
Okay.
got one today at 11:30 at Cafe Room Grove.
Excellent.
so what stopped you from doing 25?
Very long conversations, most of them were about an hour long calls, hour and a half long, catching up.
Oh, yeah.
So I usually don't call anybody. I usually just text them real fast, see how they're doing, so it was on there, just talking to them, seeing how their families were, how the kids were doing. So they're asking me what I'm doing now and stuff, so
And it led to appointments.
exactly.
Nice. So what's the next week?
Try to hit 25 next week.
25.
So,
So I like to do this practice, and this is what's fun about group accountability. We got to teach you and everyone else at the same time. I like to always think back, like, okay, my goal was 25. If I were to go back in time, would have I set that same goal? And if the answer is yes, then how could I lived my life differently to achieve that goal? And if you're setting 4 appointments, you're probably okay with 19 conversations. But if you had the 6 more, what have you gotten 1 more?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's what was playing on last night.
Yep.
I actually stayed up till 2 in the morning last night, and I had to wake up at 5 without my wife making cake. So I was contemplating everything and seeing
Yep.
how I can fix my schedule to do the 25.
yeah. Yeah, how could you bring down the conversations without killing the relationship, all of that? I love it. So 25 this week. Okay, Lucas,
So I said 35 and I did 41. And I got
Ooh.
3 potential leads for like next year that they're looking for next year.
nice. How come you did more than your goal?
I just got
You're the
like got
overachiever.
excited, just kept going, and then I lost track of how much I actually did. Yeah.
I love that.
And my next goal is to get more phone calls than text messages because I did more text messages than phone calls. So
Oh, yeah. I think texts are great. But I'm a fan of call first, text rather than leave a voicemail. Because some people aren't gonna ever call you back. But if you send them a text, then you could have a conversation. But I wanna have a phone call, right? Like, are you guys in Shoney's Tuesday thing, the boot camp, where we talked about the levels of communication? Like, I would imagine a phone call is better than a text. I don't know, maybe people that are 20 might answer differently than me. But like face to face, and then maybe a call, and then maybe the text. And so the higher up, you can be face to face, you can be on the phone, better off. Do more calls then.
yeah.
People, the people, okay, that's what I'm gonna ask, so kids your age, since I'm old, and you're young. My kids don't like to answer their phone.
Yeah, that's why I
They
was,
want to text, they don't wanna have a phone conversation.
Yeah.
and majority of my
Yeah.
contacts are kids my age. So I was like, they'll most likely answer me by text than call. Because if they see someone calling, they'll just ignore the call.
Yeah,
That'll be like,
That's-
why is this person
Yeah.
calling me?
Yeah, that's,
We
yeah,
never talk.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
I've
what-
got plenty of times where like, they're like, yeah, but I gotta go, so then I'm like, maybe I should just text the people my age, and then anything
And then-
after, probably like call them.
call people my age.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause-
Sorry, call the 35 and up crowd, because we wanna have a conversation, because we're like, why can't you just call?
yeah,
Because if I have to
We can't
text
do
you,
our phones to text.
if I, no, the problem is, if I have to text you more than like 4 times.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just call me, let's just do this out and have the conversation and make it 5-10 minutes
Yeah.
versus 25 texts. Because really, I'm like, let's just talk. If
yeah.
you wanna tell me that many things, let's talk about it
That's-
and have the conversation versus. Cause like even in my other job, if we have to text that many times, obviously it was important enough that we should have had a conversation about it.
Yeah,
And we could have taken care of whatever you needed to do in a conversation and not, been like text lag, text lag, text lag, text lag. It's like, let's be done. Let's
yeah,
take care of it.
it's nothing worse than sending out like 100 texts in the morning, like, yes,
Yes.
in my prospecting, and then the rest of the day, you're just like constantly on your phone.
Yeah, because you're doing when they get around to it, and it's, okay, wait, is that person again? Oh, is it that person? And then you aren't sure, what if you mess it up and you text somebody else wrong? Just call them.
yeah.
Call the 35 number crowd.
So I'm a big believer that the reason that you call is to build the relationship. And texting can do that as well, so I'm okay with either. The one caveat I will say is when you are doing business, you will probably be on the phone. Right? If you are showing a client houses and then you're deciding like, are you gonna make an offer on this? You can text that, but then you get in this like back and forth forever, where if you just made the phone call and said, hey, do you want to make an offer on this? Why not? What's your reasoning behind that price? Like all of the things that you do business on the phone, you don't do it through text generally. Now, there are some people that are weird and will just text through the whole conversation and never answer you. I don't know how they get things done.
Yeah.
Lucas, what was your goal? I missed it for this week.
This week probably 25, but more calls than
25 call conversations? Are we doing them all?
You can try it.
I'll try.
Okay, do it all, just to know what it's like. And then you'll have kind of like the two contrasts. You have like mostly text this week and then mostly calls next week. You can see how it kind of feels, how it went differently, run the test.
Yeah.
25 calls. All right, who do I got next? Bryce.
So-
That good, huh?
No, that was fine.
So
My
you're,
goal was 30 and I got 25. So
That's still good.
I'm a little short.
That's still good.
how do you feel about that? Don't let her make you feel good about it. How do you feel about it?
I do feel pretty good, but I have midterms this week,
Oh,
so kind of doing a lot of studying and like getting all the homework done as well. So I'm kind of cramming it all together. But I feel I got one under contract, so.
sweet.
See, that's good.
It
Yeah,
might,
that's good. Celebrate that.
it might fall through, but hopefully not, so.
No, it's never gonna fall through.
I have one person I'm working with on it, so. I call it a success.
Yeah.
But the numbers could get better for sure.
So what are you gonna do this week?
I think I gotta lower it a little bit, cause. The midterms that next on Sunday, so
Oh, yeah,
gotta go through that, but I could get probably 25 again.
25. Okay. Have you guys ever heard of people like doing these extreme accountabilities where they say like, I'm gonna write a check and if I don't do this, I'm gonna give it to you. I've heard of people writing checks to like other real estate agents for their marketing and things like that. Like, I'm gonna give you $500 towards Facebook marketing if I don't do this thing. Not saying you have to do that, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, Adrian.
Yes. So my goal was 30 and I did 30.
Nice.
And out of it, I got 3 leads and then 3 potential for next year.
That's good. That's great. So what's this next week hold for you?
I wanna do 30.
30
And I wanna
again.
do an open house, so I wanna get more face to face.
Do you already have an open house to do that?
I do. And I'm gonna be out of town, so I need someone to do my
Look
open
at
house
that.
while I'm out of town.
So perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, if you guys ever want to do open houses, there are a bunch of agents in this brokerage that don't like doing open houses. So the easiest way to do that is network here first of all, but then you can go on the MLS and see what was listed this week from our brokerage. That is literally a search that you can perform. And then you just call those agents, hey, are you doing an open house? If not, I'd love to. And you can do open houses. But then you should go big. Ooh, we can talk about open houses maybe later. Maybe later. I know that's an Ignite class. Because this, by the way, is not a training class. This is all accountability. Right? Angie probably told you this. So, okay, Jill.
My goal was 25 and I only did 10, but 3 of those were in person. Met for lunch or in person, and one of them, I found out she is looking for a property, so we have somebody else to put like in my searches for looking for properties.
So if you went back last week, what could have you done differently to get 15 more? So you hit your goal.
I just rearranged my life. I mean, there's different reasons why last week was just a bad week for me, but prioritized it no matter what is what I would do.
Okay, so what's the goal this week?
This week I'm gonna say 15,
Okay,
because I'm gonna be out of town this weekend. So I'm gonna say 15, so I make sure I hit it. Because I'm finding I like to get together like with people, like set appointments to go to lunch or go get a drink and so I think I'm gonna do less, but I tend to like get together with people.
higher value, less
Mhm.
people.
So I don't know. I want to say 15 for this week because I know what I got.
Okay. 15. All right, Chris.
Yes. So mine was 25. And I definitely hit my 25 because I joined a book club in my neighborhood.
Awesome.
I got all of their phone numbers, and my goal is to kind of. I also have a couple of things in the works that are taking a lot of time for me. And I had a high school friend I was telling him from 40 years ago, who I kind of stayed friends with, who called me up and was in town Saturday and wanted to see a couple of homes, and they were talking to a lender and they probably can buy, so I'm counting that one too.
Good.
But just, I have a lot of things this week that are already in progress, that are taking my time, so I want to nurture the people I already have. I don't know if that counts or not. If you put 0 or whatever.
Have you guys ever heard about the real estate roller coaster?
No, but I might be on.
It sounds like you're on a path to be on it for sure.
Is that bad?
So yes and no. You feel rich and then you feel poor, all within a 3-month span. So what happens
That's true.
is you're like, oh shoot, I have no business. So what do? You spend your whole time calling people, talking to everyone, and then all of a sudden you have some clients. So what do you stop doing? Calling people. But remember, what you call today gets you business in 90 days. So you start calling now, and then you get busy, and then you get a paycheck, and then all of a sudden you have no one again. And so it's this up and down cycle forever. So the remedy for that is to figure out how to constantly do the lead generation piece, the calls, the conversations.
Okay.
So.
No, I'm kidding. You know what, then I'm gonna say 10. I'm gonna.
10.
This. Mhm.
Okay. Becky. No, Becky. Really, I didn't have your numbers.
I was in here last week, but I would love to make a goal at least.
Let's make you a goal.
Okay, we'll say 25
Okay,
and maybe I'll do more, but I'll say at least I do 20.
I love this. I love this. Okay. Wait, was that everyone? No, Carla,
Hey,
we skipped you.
I am not sure if I have 25 people I can call. Because since doing the boot camp, I feel like pretty much everyone on my list.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I haven't been very social for the last 6 years of being a mom, so I don't know, need to get out more. It's meet more friends.
Are you from here? Like the area?
I grew up in Orem and I live
Okay,
in
perfect,
Scammers.
perfect. I'd go way back in time. Way back in time and think like, who did you hang out with in high school?
I know, I'm like, maybe it wasn't the kids, maybe it's just my person. I'm like, look at the kids, I'm like, maybe it never was very social.
That's not on social media. Like I said, I don't really follow anybody or text
Yeah.
that much. So it's hard for me too, but that's why I break the ice and just ask how you doing.
That's me too, I just worked for the last 22 years, so mine, I've just had to use my,
Exactly.
okay, he doesn't know, and I've told some of them. I'm an antisocial extrovert, I only like very small, teensy crowds. Like I'm really good in small, but my clients talk all the time, so I'm like, yeah. Mhm. Oh, yeah, a little bit of this. So me talking on the phone. I'm gonna have to get some like anxiety meds to speak on the phone to like call people and be like, hey, hi, this is what I do, and I may have a mental breakdown by doing it. So I feel you, I understand.
Everyone that I feel like I would feel comfortable like calling or catching up with, I call, like I've gone through like, and then they're like wrong number, like their number's not their number anymore, but I have a list of people that I feel like, I don't know, that I'm like still touching base with, but as far as like making those calls, I'm like, how do you know all this?
Can you join a book club also?
I know, I used
Trust
to.
me. Or something like a Bucko or a,
Yep.
or there's like, you could look up like.
Yeah, I'll need to do something like that, feel more creative because my contact list is.
Join a gym. Do
So-
something.
You know, just something that's fun, something that you can enjoy doing while you meet people, so it's not maybe so painful.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I do is open houses, 'cause sometimes I don't even like going to the group things, cause I'm like, it takes time, and I'm like.
I don't
really
like the
wanna
gym,
do
the other ones were okay.
Open house, it's like directly to it, and you don't have to like curve any balls, so.
And that's what I'm gonna do also, because I love talking to the people in that kind of thing. really fine, no problem, but it's it's like polarizing for me to want to call someone on the phone.
Don't be disappointed if you don't get anything off the note.
I was just gonna say, I feel like, are people still showing up to
Well,
open houses?
okay, so one of my leads is this last weekend, my husband said, as he came as my, safety net, he said, before we got there, as we were putting out balloons, he said, okay, let's have a talk. And I said, okay, are we having one of those talks? And he said, no, let's have a talk. Are you going to be upset if no one shows up? And I said, no, I'm not gonna be upset, because I've already mentally prepared that if no one shows up, I set everything up, I'm good, I've done work for my client, and my client knows I've done work, and it's okay. Because I'm doing practice, and more practice, and more practice, so mentally I'm practicing, so that's what counts.
Yeah, you learn a lot from just doing them.
Mhm.
And you learn to only accept ones where you wanna sell. I mean,
And that's everybody else talking to all them, okay, we're good, and I really was, okay, and then my friend told me they had an open house. And she had a brand new house, and mine was a, used home, a nice used home, she had nobody show up to her brand new home. So then I felt like, oh, I had some people show up, I felt really good with just a very smidge of people.
And I feel like for me, like, I don't know, I don't really focus much like how many people are gonna show up, but it's more of like the door knocking, like how many people.
I did
can
that too.
interact with. Like that was my main goal, and if no one showed up, at least I talked to people about it.
Yeah,
Got their info, and I can stay in face with them.
yeah, I did that, it was scary, but I was good.
I'm interested when you got their information.
Yeah, like, I just like, I don't know, just try to look presentable in the name badge.
I
The first time I did it, I forgot to do that, and they're like, I'm not just gonna give my number to a random person. I'm like,
Yeah, I feel
fire it up.
You can have your social security as well.
my name badge on, no one would give me their information, it was the area I was in. They had-
ask for it, cause I
Well-
feel like I've left my card before, but obviously that's not.
They had too many solicitors in the area I was in, and so I spent my entire time promising people I was not a solicitor and giving out my open house stuff. Cause they have in Eagle Mountain twice a week, people are soliciting to them, so I spent the whole time, hey, just wanted to welcome you to my open house tomorrow. Feel free, come visit, come be a looky-loo, just come check it out, I had some neighbors.
Patient and then-
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep, and people were like, great, thank you so much, thanks for giving us the, awareness to keep our kids off the street just in case, because there's a lot of little kids and stuff, and they were so nice once I told them, and they were just great, and that's all it was just me trying to be kind. That was all.
Other aspect is you can talk to the title company, and they have like these records of like in the neighborhoods of which homes are renters, so you can go directly to those and like avoid the ones that are. It's like, you can still do it, but
They were
renters,
super scary, the renters, the neighborhood, everyone was so scary.
really.
Yeah.
No, you want to go to the homeowners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, every time I did it with homeowners, it was like.
Okay, I did get, my one lead I got in the neighborhood was a renter who was looking to get the crap out, and they're the ones talking to the lenders upstairs. But it was just, that was by happenstance of me dodging the dog next door. It was like, oh, I gotta go, but it was fun. It really was fun to go door knock to see people.
I was just curious what you would do in this situation, because I had one horrible. And I haven't done one since. But I mean, I set everything up. I had even borrowed their flying flags, and I mean, it was set up, it was good, I was ready. I opened the door to go in, and it was the most disgusting place I had ever been in. And I called the agent who had the list, and I was like, were they ready for this? And he said, yeah, we actually paid someone to come and clean it. So I sent him some pictures.
Yep.
And he wasn't happy, but meanwhile, I had advertised that I'd be there for 2 years. So I took.
That's a long time.
So grateful that nobody came. But I took my little chair and I set it right outside the door, because it smelled, it was bad.
Wow.
I mean, stuff happens.
Yep.
Just be
Roll with the
prepared.
punches.
Not all of them are gonna be great. They are gonna be great.
And sometimes
And
the
you-
worst houses are the best.
Part.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes people love a little junky house.
Yeah, this was a condo. I mean, it was.
Negotiation strategy, that's what they use.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
and you could say like, yeah, I'm aware that this house is gross. I'm not representing the seller, so let's get you a good deal.
Yeah,
That's the one that's-
so it's like the credit pictures, right?
Yep.
You see credit pictures, you're like, yeah, let's get a deal out of this one.
Okay, Carla, so what did you say?
Well,
Were you 25? That's what I wrote down, but I felt like you didn't say that. What did you?
it's not like I have a choice, but yeah, I'll.
You have a choice. It's all you.
What?
It's all you.
Yeah, we'll do try 25.
Okay.
I talk to people at Home Depot all the time.
Yeah. Oh my
So-
One lead at Home Depot.
Yeah, there's two ways to go about this whole thing. There's the
Just
one
think
that,
about it as my SOI, but it doesn't have to be
Yep.
my SOI, I can just.
when I want to move you guys away from SOI, everyone's gonna say SOI, call your SOI, everything like that, call it a database. And you guys should come to my class tomorrow, Ignite, I'm teaching tomorrow about the database, yeah, 9:30. But a little spoiler alert to that is your sphere of influence are people that you know and that know you back and forth. Your database is literally everyone you could possibly call, and you can be the real estate professional for your database. Just like you're like writing down like, who's your plumber, who's your this, who's your that. You can be the that for real estate. You don't have to be their friends and have close relationships with them. You can be the professional. So,
Wear your Keller Williams, like, get a T-shirt or your badge when you're in Home Depot.
See, I wore mine around to Macy's when I was getting balloons. I had it on the whole day because I forgot to take it off too and I was afraid to lose, but every person was like. They're looking and I was like,
It's
hey, and somebody, Susie said she wears it a lot of times. She said it's a great conversation starter. And she said she actually picked up a client one day at the grocery store.
By wearing the
I
name
talk to
badge.
people-
Yeah, by wearing her name
Now,
badge.
Where can we get a badge?
What do you mean a better one?
I felt, no, like.
A bigger, you mean a bigger one?
Cause I feel like the one that I got was like, it looked like it was drawn on and it wasn't engraved, so I. feel
You
like
maybe better go
this
print
company-
one or go talk.
Any, there's business that you can go.
Oh, like
Get it.
McGee's printing
Yeah.
and stuff, like McGee's does it.
Okay.
Oh, I happen to know the McGee's. They're building
So you can't send them
McGee's
that.
printing. No, but that's what they do, right? Isn't that, you can go get it printed, Cameron, is that right? You can go get them done anywhere, get
Yeah.
everyone. Jill's
Google it.
huge, you usually have it on, where's your giant name? badge?
I can find where I ordered that. and sent-
But yeah, you can get a giant one, giant Adrian across it. Do you wear yours ever?
no,
You're so awesome now, you don't need to, look for
yep,
leads.
yep, I'm too cool for
I
everything.
know, that's amazing, so you better tell us your strategy to be so amazing. Where's that tomorrow?
I'll tell you everything tomorrow, but here's my background. I came into the back door of real estate. I became an admin for a team,
Oh.
and then I ran that team for a decade. And now I am a real estate coach. And so my prospecting now is less to my friends and family and people I know, and to random agents is who I call. So I am like talking to agents saying like, what does your business need? And you know what's the funniest thing? I can almost solve every business's problem with one thing. It's literally what you guys did today. Make a commitment for how many people you're gonna talk to, and then figure out a way to do it. That's it.
Okay.
That is like 90% of the problems in real estate. If you meet someone successful in real estate, I almost guarantee that they are on the phone often talking to people.
They have no follow through, the ones that aren't successful, right?
Sometimes they get lucky too.
Oh, okay.
But like if you were to find Angie on a random day, she is probably talking to somebody. It's just how the business is. It's constant communication. So the more you can talk to people, the better off you're gonna be.
Maybe first just define what success means to you individually. Like what is success to you? Is it being the top real estate agent, or are you feeling successful? I don't know, it's
Yeah.
different for everybody.
Yeah, I have some clients that their goal is to do the same amount of transactions in less time. Because they want to spend more time with their family, but they don't want to take a step backwards. Other people are saying, I'm out of things to do. What more can I do? I have more time and not enough activities. Where can I go from that? And they're trying to build a bigger business. And so it's all, what do you want? what do you want in life, and then how do you do that? And there's this thing that's called the economic model, super fun. If there's ever a business planning thing here in the brokerage, which there should be here in a month or less, do it. Because it will take, how much money do you want to make, and work it all the way backwards to how many people you need to talk to. And if they don't go all the way to talk to, it's at least 2 appointments. So how many appointments do you need to go on to hit that goal? But I like to take it one step further. And by the way, that's 10%. 10% of your database should close every single year. You just have to figure out, are you the one that are gonna represent them or not? If they think of you, then you've got it. So make your calls, do hard things, and come to my class tomorrow.
Okay.
Hey,